Okay. So, yeah, it's been a little. It's been a lot. There's a lot that's going on that's happened. Golly. A lot of predictions have happened. And, oh, wow. I feel like I'm rushing. I've got hours to be here, so I've got to get back in the swing of things. Um, One of my clients said, You're doing such a fabulous job. Why don't you take some time away?" I did. It's day 9. I need to get back and I need to get back to work. Oh gosh. So yeah. Mm. Oh my gosh. Every I think we accomplished it. Every single prophecy, every single prognosticated idea, I mean, even rumors, we flipped them, even if they weren't true or not. We flipped them into their faces. Oh my God, we flipped them on their heads. Oh my gosh, this is just a this is I just put up 2 things, so because that pretty much covers it. You know, um, a lot of people don't know this, but Hagar is actually special. Hagar, she's she's an Egyptian princess. I know people sometimes dress her down as a as a woman, like a what do you call it, bag woman, vagabond, and she's not. She's more than that. She's more than that. She's definitely special, and what makes her special is the idea that she is, and and still remains, um, royalty. But also, what's most important, um, in Galatians, she's described as she is described as free, a free woman, a free female, a mother, and a wife. That's the way that she's depicted. It's the most amazing conversation. I'm looking for a thumbnail. Let me see if I can find a proper thumbnail. Yeah, I need this one. Okay. I just needed to switch up that thumbnail real quick. I'm learning new music, but I've been singing it in my head. Oh wow, that's beautiful. My setup is nice. I know I could turn on some light, but for the most part, I think I'm ready. I'm getting closer. By the way, talk about getting. Speaking of getting closer, um, my what do you call it? My watch hours are going up. So, gosh, I thank you all. I did take some time, just to, like, I guess, what do you call it? Like for myself. I took some time out and enjoyed that. But let me see how well are we doing? Okay, we've got some things going on here. Okay, so I guess what do you call it? The numbers are going to significantly go up, and I'm getting ready to go live. I will need to disappear one more time because 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Move this back into the transition. Okay, so I believe it's this one. Yeah, transition. Oh, yeah. By the way, hi. I hadn't worked in a studio format for a few years. I'm back in the format of the studio, which means I can do because before I was just had the one scene and I had to be like, please get this right. I click to see if that's the right image. Now I remember, yeah, do the studio style where you could get it all set up first, like where I only could see it, and then if I like it, that's right, then transition it over to where it's broadcasted to you all. I learned everything backwards, so yeah, yeah, I remember that now. I remember that. Yeah, so yeah, I can find my way around. Yeah, it's pretty nice actually, the way that it looks. I like. Do I need to? Okay, only thing. I get it. I'm using natural lighting. I mean, I could turn on some lights. To be honest, this is my first day back, so I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really truly excited in turning on all these lights, but I know that at some point I would turn them on for sure. Mm. So what is today? Today is Wednesday, I believe, or is it? Might be. Let me think. If it's Wednesday, oh, it's Thursday. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm with you all. I think I should take one more day away because this is the part that I've actually missed. I need to be um, going, like doing my remember to do my readings. I'm supposed to create my space where I'm a phone psychic live streaming. And so I took some time. I was just reading over just reading. I wouldn't do live because I was like, I'm still in my celebratory mode, celebrating. So, and I'm like, I I need to like find out like what's the missing element here. Then I recall I like, oh yeah. We're working on a few projects. We got a few things we're working on. So I got to get back to that because I was like reading. I was like, okay, I worked a day. I put in my hours. I talked. All my clients are showing up. Like, what's the deal? It's like that's the deal. That's what's going on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's get shuffled. Get this ground ready. So, what's the okay? We of course we have clients. Okay. Besides that, what are we doing? Okay. I'm supposed to prepare and make my lives better. Oh, by the way, I'm starting to write the the book material, the ebooks, and I found the beloved software. It's not Grammarly. Grammarly is excellent, but guess Quillbot is uh, is like phenomenal, and it's pretty. You know what I mean? Like user. The word is technical. Word is user friendly, but it's pretty. You know, it's got the whole colorful scheme going on, and everything looks like round edges. For us, you know, people who are young in spirit. So there's that, and they're tied in with AI. Yep, and it does a whole grammar. It expands. Oh yeah, it's gonna help me out. So it's gonna be my writing buddy. So what are you doing about the book? Oh yeah. We haven't forgotten. By the way, internet is in excellent mode. So we have, of course, superior uh, internet. Of course, paid a lot of money per month in the hundred for it. So in the hundreds, you know, easy for internet because we went at the highest speed because specifically for streaming. So yeah, it's gonna yeah. So when whereas I'm bringing this all together, yeah, that's gonna be crazy. So whenever I begin to let's say travel, um, there's a very expensive way, and even then, um, it's not. I'm not sure because yes, I can get a hold of some like you all know of 5G. Whenever I travel, I'm on 7G. 7G, not 5G. 5G is generally everywhere. So if there's a 7G, imagine. You know what I mean? Just think about it. Um, so I am on uh, these thoughts about okay, how to produce the same quality. So like whenever I'm like moving about, like you're getting stills and look like you're looking at me from a sixth dimension coming at you. So I did consider that because the quality at home is different. Well, in my little workspace, definitely. I'm already daydreaming to um, like create an like I guess do another studio space. So this scene is going to change again because I'm only using like a corner of the entire. I can at least invest in half. So I'm gonna do that. Well, I might can if I well I might can even go a little farther than that. I probably can start creating the entire space to be to be utilized as studio space. Then that would yeah that definitely is my personality. So I'm not going to leave these images up for very long. I'm just going to just cover them very quickly. Like I like as you could tell, I'm more calm about, um, Hagar's lineage and Hagar and Abraham's lineage, um, because it sounds like the Palestinian people. I know they're still having a rough time, but they are pretty much getting the things that they need. All that we asked for. We didn't ask for anything else. I was not debating the war. I was not debating, their, Netanyahu, Israel, state of Israel's right to protect itself, arm itself. In fact, in my mind, I'm like, according to the Bible, you better, it is life and death as your prophets say. So, you know, I'm all for that, and I'm also for. It's only natural because of what I have revealed in during live sessions that the first father, George Washington, first president, founder of the America, form the formation of America as an entity, business entity, said that you know it's like they had camaraderie because remember, um, your Europeans coming from America, why they left Europe was to escape persecution of religion, and here are another group of people would be Israel experiencing the same things, and so they created amendments and said, bigotry will not ever find refuge here, and meaning and specifically, moreover, anti-Semitism will not have refuge here, and throughout the land will have the religious freedoms, and it classifies three groups. It says the Christian, the Jewish, and then the third one, the infidel. And now that's a tricky one. Infidel is I don't hear Jewish people using that term. I hear that it from Muslim like Islam to use infidel, or it's in the Quran. Interesting, right? But anyway, George Washington used those three terms. Um, so he stated he made a covenant stating the protections, and the First Amendment was born, and actually they played a major role in the shaping of the 10 their okay their understanding of the 10 Commandments helped to shape the the amendments, right, the 10 Amendments, right. The in history at the time that first the like the first amendment was being circulated, a few of the 10 were being circulated, the Jewish community was applauding it. Was like, okay, this is good, this is good. Suggestion, suggestion. This is good, this is good. They played a major, and they're celebrated for that. In fact, they I believe every November they celebrate a Thanksgiving. It's a special Thanksgiving because it's George Washington's Thanksgiving, because that's when he made the proclamation of Thanksgiving. on it was I believe it was on the 26th when it was finalized on a Thursday. It meant the fellowship, the covenant between Christians and Jewish people, not white. If you were a Christian, it's the fellowship of the Christian and the Jewish persons. Now we can keep the way the schools teach it. That's fine, but this is where it came. This is when it becomes, and then proceeding after that, Lincoln makes it official. Okay, so any bid. Um, so I'm just saying it's in the bloodline that we they're like the little brother, but it is America. Our presidents who actually extended the covenant to Israel. God extended the covenant to Israel. If you want to say in his hand, moving the nations, in this case, America, to extend its hand. Um, so they are entrenched into the genesis of America before America was even, and was given citizenship, all the way back leading to the founder, meaning they were definitely um, progenitors of America. No, there's no doubt. Okay, so with that said, yes, of course, with their right to defend themselves, Israel itself, but also they have the right to protect all their citizens, which is Palestinians. And that's scripturally because the Palestinians were there in the genesis of Canaan. They entered in with Israel. Um, of course, they have to separate the ones who want, heading towards being something else destructive. Not only, so here's the thing: Hamas is not only destructive to Israel, but they're destructive unto themselves. If Hamas is Palestinian, then a Palestinian group who has isolated themselves are a destruction unto themselves, the Palestinian people. And so it's separating, like, how do you know which ones? Like, okay, are you there? Are you good? Are you good? So they had to figure out, but they had to kind of like allow Hamas to mess up though. They did because people are like, I mean, the Palestinian people are naturally thinking, like you look for a father or a mother to protect you, right? So they're looking for authority, and they place themselves where they they're the authority. They're going to protect them. They are going to make sure they get resources. So they were also at times were in charge of the resources, but what we found out was that they weren't giving the people resources, and they threaten the people if they go get resources, they have actually attacked them and unfortunately murdered them for going to go for accepting the resources of whether it be Israel, America, or any other any resources. They say you better not take that resource. So they're literally seeing that Hamas is not good for them. Hamas is um, is straight up heartless to Palestinian people. Even though you say, well, Hamas can't be that because Hamas is Palestinian. No, 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 no. Groups, people, races, nationalities, um, ethnic groups can form isolated groups in terms of like if you want to say hierarchy, natural selection, humans do it all the time. They, sort of form these fraternal situations. These, like, they have these fraternity type situations. So they have that there. Just like we could easily say all groups have that. It's not just Black Americans that have that. It's all groups have that. Um, or Africans, like tribalism. But we speak of tribalism, and that just doesn't give it the justice that we're talking about in this situation. But it is a tribe, and it's a way of forming systems, sort of like the way that society will want to run itself. Anyway, when I looked at into this vibration, I mean, they're you could call it, you say, oh yeah, they're evil, or they're apathetic. No, they're heartless, no heart, and they're with being in with I believe that people are trying to see them as a soul, trying to understand their situation as they keep trying to see them as, like, you can separate a group of people of the same race and without removing their humanity. You can do that. You can. They're still, we didn't say that they're not human and that they are not part of humanity. That is irrelevant. Humanity in this is irrelevant. Um, no, they don't have a heart. We're not even making this a soul issue. We're not saying, okay, well, who has a soul these days? We're not saying, yeah, these group of people, they don't have a soul. No, we're saying they're heartless. They're apathetic. There's empathetic, which people say all the time, and then there's apathetic. Apathetic means you have no emotion, no connection, you don't care, and and if that's a consistent way of thinking, feeling, then yes, there's actions that provide evidence for heartlessness. They're heartless to Palestinian people. Not they're heartless to other Palestinian people. We have to somehow, like get over it, like grow up. So yeah, do you want to live? Come with me. It's about live, survival, and thriving. They didn't. Palestinian people didn't get resources till they understood to that empathy is for the gods, compassion is for the world. Yes, you can show compassion for the world, like Israel could show compassion for Palestinian, or specifically when I say Palestinian people, men who are not Hamas, women and children, and hopefully the children also can put two and two together. It could be college level, that universe, because a lot of them, there's a lot of university people. They're using their intellect to survive and help the the community. And so and Palestinian people, you know, can also act out of compassion, but that compassion is not provided. It's not even about guarantee. There was no guarantee. That means that there was an option. Hamas is not offering compassion, because that's the whole idea. Heartlessness would be no lacking of compassion. You would have That's a heartless person. It doesn't have, or at the time is not connected with compassion. So there's all that. So all this is going on, and we're trying to separate, like we're trying to get people, like we just want people to separate, like in terms of groups, because not everyone is in agreement, and just because Palestinian people look alike, well, in this case, oh well, what's the difference between a Hamas and a child, or between a Hamas and a wife? What's the difference between a Hamas and a man, a vulnerable male? you know, well, one, this group that's just made of people may not actually, if they when they come to know what in the world is going on completely surrounding Hamas, and that Hamas is actually is endangering them. There is threat, not threatening, well, threatening and then fulfilling. You know, their literally their survival. Yes, that becomes a little different when it is context that way. Okay, because they no longer deserve to be governing for the people. Then they don't deserve to be in governmental power. They need to be stripped of their governmental power. Definitely, I agree with Netanyahu. They don't deserve to have governmental influence, because you don't want young men rapping about this, and then of course uh, attracting ladies who and then planting seeds for future people, Palestinians who think like Hamas, because no, they need to know, like, wait a minute, Hamas, you they need to say Hamas. We're pointing the finger at you. They need to rap about that. This is you doing this to us. They, whether it's America and um, Israel, state of Israel, are beginning to understand that Hamas is not acting out of the will of the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people don't even know what's going on. They're they just figured that out. So anyway, so they're getting their aid. I'm happy, and that's all that we even asked. We weren't even saying, no, we were like, yeah, yeah, fight Hamas, but also take care of your people. Those people are your people. I understand we're in a modern day. I understand that they're like, we want our own identity. We are Palestinian. We're not Jewish people. There is a yes, 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 yes. We would love to have our own. Yes, 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 yes. We like to have our, even have our own state. Wow, can you believe it? Yes, Macron is saying that. That man did, like, he's more involved in this than anybody. Before, in the beginning, he was like, but as soon as people, I'm trying not to trail off. As soon as people started like showing themselves, like showing like what they can do, the grit they have, he was like, now he is like dedicated, he's like devoted, like he's fooling with, like he gets down with Zelensky, Ukraine. He's getting down with, now he's involved. Like he's like, come on, UK, let's acknowledge the Palestinian people. Let's if the right timing, the right leaders show up, step in. I like how Egypt and Greece, because that also secures the fact. So the archaeologists and genealogists trace Palestinian people all the way back to Canaan. They were there, but what they don't understand the biblical story. So they're like, yeah, yeah, they were there, but it kind of like they kind of hit a wall, because they're saying, well, because there's this black bubble here with a chalky question mark. So where are the Canaanite? Okay, we can trace Palestinian people in their bloodline, because through genetics, this is where they were. They were farmers. They lived in a thriving city, no fighting, side by side. That's what how the Bible actually colors it. I mean, not that's how the story is told, but they were right alongside. They entered from Egypt with, well, they crossed and left Egypt with Moses' group. and then I believe, wasn't it Joshua? They entered into Canaan with Joshua, and it's very well heavily documented. I mean, an entire chapter. People hear me talk about it all the time. Chapter 24, Leviticus. That entire chapter is dedicated to intermarriage between Egypt and let's be specific, Egyptian male. I mean, this is like a verbal statistic. So an Egyptian male and it is would be a Israeli woman, a Jewish woman specifically, and they married and then had a biracial child between the two of them that was protected by Yahweh. Moses asked himself, "So what do we do in this situation?" Moses said, "You better protect my great great grandbaby, divine grandbaby," and that's what the congregation, the word congregation is used, did. The young men were reprimanded and as you want to say, punished for challenging and being disparaging and belittling this who was a young boy, a son of the two, his Egyptian father and his Jewish mother. That is Leviticus 24. So, hence, we know where Palestinian people come from. So that leaves us with another question, but we're not obviously still looking for that Canaan people group, but we're not. We're just gonna just walk past that. We don't need to deal in that. But hence that's why I was able to say. So that means Egypt is going to step in. Everyone's going to point to Egypt, like Egypt. What's going on? It's like those are our cousins. Every one of you have cousins who we know. You cannot tell them anything, especially when they know they're right. So, but anyway, the empathy, right? The connection of like that. I said, how do you know which family is your family? Which group is yours? Or people is your people? When you get into trouble, the people who show up for you, that's your people. These people showed up for them. That's the ones that's like, there they go. And Egypt said, of course, they had to do this way because they need to also protect their land because they're like, you're not going to get us tied up in this and we start losing land. No, we're not playing that. Keep us out of it. Don't even try it. Don't no. So that's what they did. And also, they're like, well, we don't want the Palestinian people to lose their land. They shouldn't have to come live here, live in peace. So they wanted. So they've already started working with um, Egypt and Greece because New Testament stuff, right? Old Testament, New Testament. They had some holy sites that are biblical. Okay, all of that's going on, and well, they're teaming up actually to preserve this biblically historical truth. Sam, we want to help in the development. Like once this is done, they want to start helping, with the infrastructure and rebuilding it and getting it to a much more modern and socially accepted position. So that's where they're coming from. So there's a lot of good things. Um, the whole McCarthyism. They dealt with this. This is over. This is all the way over. Like trying to, oh yeah, let's get ready for the World War. This is World War I and II. Get ready for World War III. All of that. First of all, what kicks off? People say, "Well, World War I, World War II. Don't even try." The young people are like, "Don't even try to, get me to, to sign up. I'm not signing up. Don't do. Oh, no, not drafting me." But so anyway, and so that's why they say, "Well, that's why we're mad at Zelensky." Well, first of all, Zelensky said, "Your children, your boys, your girls, they will never ever step their feet onto the soil of Ukraine to fight. You will not lose any sons, you will not lose any daughters in this fight. All we are asking is you provide us weapons." They weren't even asking for money in the beginning. In the beginning, they were not asking for money. They were asking for weapons. That's it. That's why it's all the conversation's always about weapons. Um, of course, with all the information that was crossing until giving everybody a chance to catch up. By the way, they caught has our president caught up. He's caught up, so he's already reversing um, prophecies that people they were sending out and trying to make a prophecy out of it. He also rumors of wars being squashed because there are no leaders who wants to do. The only thing that kicks off a World War III is one word. It's only four letters in it. It starts with an N. Nuke. That's what prompts it. But there's two things going on here. First of all, American people were never even meant to see the light of day of the war in Ukraine with Russia. It was never meant. It was never going to happen. So there's that. Okay, so then what's the other one? Oh, the only thing that kicks off a World War III is going nuclear, which, by the way, uh, Putin does not want to do that. And to be even more forward, I, Iran does not need to have a nuke, but they were not even interested in doing nuclear warfare, even though while trying to achieve that ability, that capability. Okay, so and America feels no, 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 no. Mm-mm. By the way, they are the villain. So in my reading, I mean, it's all okay. So it's okay. These are the ones who kind of work against humanity. Iran, obviously. Let's go ahead and get that out the way. So definitely, you don't need a nuke. No, you can still advance your civilization and live and thrive, just as President is already saying. Okay, uh, Russia. Um, oh yeah, China. Don't even look to China to help out with your prophecy because China is like, all y'all, you're not. We're living in the future. Like our latte machines can like literally make itself. It builds itself. It makes its own coffee, and pours it for you, and hands it to you. Like no, 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 no. You're not coming here messing with us. You're not coming ruining this what we've got over here. So they're like, look, we'll advise. Egypt said, look, you're not welcome here, but we will advise. What do you need? They meet you right outside the fence. They walked half the mile up and said, "What can I do for you?" Okay, who else? Who else? So that's elimination. That's a process of elimination. Uh, not even Pakistan. Not even Pakistan is interested in nuclear exchange. Guess who else isn't? India. India is no. No one is interested. Any world leader in their right, being in that they are in their right mind currently, are not interested in the prophecies that say this has to happen in order for this to happen in order for. So this is beautiful that this is out because I think people are starting to feel it. Like so it's like so there is they're trying to wrap their mind around this. So they're like, so this is not true. It's good. So you were wrong. So you miscalculated the prophecy. So yeah. So I would just wanted to come in and as I'm returning, coming back to start talking about this again. Yeah, I've been very busy. Oh my gosh. Like the moment, like 10 o'clock, I was like logging in. It was like snatching me away. So it's like I still need one more day. I'm taking this this I believe it's Wednesday. And I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna do my. I have a large, big evening tonight. I don't know if I go live tonight. I need it. I probably need to. I know I need to write. Gosh, I need to write. I'm kind of behind on my writing. So, um, being that that is the truth of everything, and everything is pretty much like so beautifully, um, just all in place, all in order, and everything is reversed just like I wanted. It's like I'm coming for the prophets, and because people like psychics this, they always start on us. I'm like, first of all, are your like okay, my psychic predictions, they come true. And I want to rewrite all the prophecies. I want to restate them. And by the way, guess what? They're all on my Twitter. I collected them like collecting precious crystals, amethysts of all kinds, tiger eye. Yeah, they're precious stones that I now have as posts, where I've grabbed, the actual real news, you know, and I pinned it onto my. It's on. Yep, it's right on my page, all a whole on my whole entire timeline. So I can go back and I can read about it anytime. I can also draw it up on here and cover it as well. Just like, look, this is what's going on, and and like they say, the truth doesn't care about your emotions. It doesn't require it. The facts, the truth is the truth. It's the truth. It stands on its own, stands alone. So, and this is healthy. The other thing, now there is one thing that I do celebrate Putin for. He blocked there's no way of creating that Illuminati secret society, naughty cult, because he rejected Satanism. He rejected specifically the satanic. What's it called? The Satanic Temple. He rejected that. He banned it from Russia. So it's not this neo-Nazi satanic. So I'm like, what are y'all gonna do? As you guys to realize that, about only down the other side of this hard truth. Like we need to start asking our men, maybe even our women, like how well do you know him? How well do you know them? Do they really have you in mind? Okay, with that said, that was funny. Okay, so Putin chose Taliban. He's the first. Okay, Russia's the first nation, right, to acknowledge Taliban as being, I believe, a state of sorts, a state acknowledging them as being like because we even associate with terrorism, so it's acknowledge them as a a legitimate group. So he chose like it's in our lifetime. Even though some were children or teens, the Bush era, Taliban, and then some of at the very tail end, Obama got a little bit of the Taliban message, and so it was not even that long ago, right? It would have been even within the span of 10 years, less than 10, definitely less within 10 year span, longer than that even. Um, the world just giving the world a headache, and then yeah, uh, so Putin, we could surmise we can pretty much say that Putin chose Taliban over America. He chose Taliban, which I mean that's the kind of spirit that he had. That's a very specific spirit. The spirit of there's North Korea spirit in there with that South African spirit, or some other countries like Congo, like West Africans spirit, Russia spirit, um, China not so much. China is not really buying into it, but everyone's expected China. And then there's a few year like one or two. I think it's Albania. Few year little like pockets of European spirit. Um, yeah. So like all ideas that in people's mind that they're painting that good looking Russian with blonde haired, or they're not getting that. Putin is not giving them that. Putin's like, look, we are not lovers. You got to get over it. Like I think we all have fallen for a dark night or two. Like what do you call it? What do you call those people? What do you call them? You call them what are they called? The psychopaths. We've all fell in love with a few psychopaths every now and when, and then or if they're young, we say black sheep. We've all found a black sheep or two, roaming around, defenseless, misunderstood, but Putin said, nah, he does what a psychopath do. He's like, I don't talk to you. We don't even talk. Like, and we alike. You thought we were. You thought we were. You thought we were an item. So I don't know what. I don't know what they're going to do. But one thing they're not going to do is move to Russia. They're not moving to Russia, and um, and they're not even embraced that way. So you might as well just stay here in America, deal with the things you have going on right now. Mm-hmm. So let me go ahead and transition it. Yeah. So that's my little walkthrough. You know, the thing about stating things that people don't want to hear is like it's like creating an echo. If I stay to the echo, then it's true. Change the reality, my energy. Here's the thing: if it's truly a psychic prediction, or if it's a true prophecy, no one has to hear it. No one has to hear it. It doesn't even need to be recorded. It doesn't need documentation. It's like they said. It's the if the truth doesn't rely on our emotions, and then in the scriptures, the truth is capitalized. You capitalize truth in the Bhagavad Gita. That says a lot. So the truth does not require emotions, and the truth is capitalized. You capitalize truth. That that means it happened anyway. So that means when you wake up in the morning, everything's said. You will talk about it. You're instructed. You are going to have to wake up to this. When you wake up and you turn on the computer and you're like, what's trending today? This information that I'm sharing is in your face in the top trending conversations. These are things you face today. So, or if you visit my Twitter, you visit my Twitter, you go and you cut scrolling down, you'll see it. I even included the image, so it has the link, then it has the image, and it has like a little phrase, so we know exactly what it is, what the article's about. You click on the article, they get paid when you read their article. And I also keep my little. I don't go, oh yeah, look what I did. No, no, no. I just It's this literally. I go to the article where it says share. I grab it and then I make sure that if I need to add some articles when you share, it generates an image. If it doesn't, I will copy and paste that image so that it's pretty, and then it always has a headline, and then I post it. And I didn't add an emoji because the point is that look, this is what's going on, and it's not me over here making up prophecies. No, this is happening as we speak. It's happening now, and it's being covered by journalists who are journalists. They went to school to become a journalist, and then they work their way into whether it's independent journalists or where they're journalists and they've have gone to university, however it is, however it goes. They wrote it and it's trending. Did I say mention that? It's considered real. It's considered real. Every now and then, though, I can always tell if the what do you call it, if the sermon's off the article, if that when that I know this is unconventional. I'm going to say, but if that journalist, if they're like providing a sermon, I can always tell. I'm like, this is not. This is one sided. I skip the one sided ones. You know, like if they're like throw forth like a hard nosed opinion, or I could tell if they're trying to like by just reading how they start out. I can always tell if it's. Yeah, I was taught to do that in university myself. I was taught to like pick out if they're just trying to get a rise, if they're like shock value. I could tell if they're trying to by just reading the header. I could tell if the rest of the article is going to be more like propaganda stuff, or like for one side or bias. I can always tell by reading what how they word the title, and I can always like say, "See, I told you." I can always just go read like skim through the article and pick it out. I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of like reading faulty scripture. Like sometimes, like somebody's like speaking on scripture. I don't know one's perfect, so sometimes I'll listen anyway. But like they start speaking, especially people start bringing up the Bible, but they start speaking. But then eventually it gets muddy and wrong, and then you can detect it. Like, yeah, that's not right. But sometimes I'm polite and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, okay, all right, all right, done, all right, good. but but it's wrong. So, because if I were to go and pull up and read the location, which I do, I always go back and read the location for myself. And I say, well, let me read it. And I read it again. It's like, I've even read or gone, like somebody had stated something in conversations. Then I go back and read it for myself. And it's nothing about what they're talking about. Nothing at all. It's like they said, oil doesn't mix with water. It's like that. Now, now at least if you mix it up a little bit, some parts are supposed to. Okay, that part's true, but I mean, like for none of it to be right, that's insane. But I always try to be careful too, because sometimes I think that like pastors know how to because the Bible says even if you speak negatively about the Bible, that's still considered praise. So you're still actually praising God even while speaking negatively about the Bible. So sometimes I think that pastors may use like reverse kind of like psychology. All they do is talk about the Bible, what the Bible isn't, but then more and more proving what the Bible is. I'm like, oh, that's pretty tricky. So I was trying not to fall into those pits because you could be there all day. I mean, they go on for like hours. So this in my head, I'm always thinking like that. I'm like, yeah, right. I bet you're like a mega pastor. Like with the amount of people they have, they're practically a mega something, a mega church. all the members that they do have in one stream. Like 300, 400 people. I know you're thinking in terms of thousands. Some have a thousand. Have like thousands of people. Easy, like 3,000 to 7,000. That's definitely like on some mega church, you know, level. Probably a little more than that. I'm probably embellishing a bit. But it was funny when I in my head. It was funny. It's like, yeah, right. This is a mega church pastor in the ministry, and he's I'm he's like, yeah, yeah, you shouldn't follow the Bible. The Bible contradicts itself, and you're like, hey, pastor, how you doing? Oh my gosh. So yeah. So um, what else? Okay. Oh yeah. So clearly, obviously, you were never going to war, and so you're not going to be drafted into a war. You no. So you have to find another reason not to be rooting for Ukraine. Okay, hopefully it's not because you just can't quite break away from this enchantment of yours to like be in love with a psychopath. As a psychic, sweetheart, that psychopath don't love you. I know they good looking. Like I know the dark horse. I get it. It call you when he gonna you know Putin ain't gonna call you. He don't want to talk to you, babe. Only time he gonna talk to you if he can get something out of you, like manipulate. He want to manipulate you. He don't want to talk to you, like really talk to you, like he talks to his buddies. You think you in there? Oh my god. He doesn't even like Satanism. He doesn't even want the satanic church in it, so you don't get to have the neo-Nazi satanic thing vibe going on. You don't get to even have that fantasy. Oh boy, baby, he banned the satanic temple from all of Russia. You know how big Russia is? To the edge of the Black Forest, the other outside of the Black Forest, where all the fairy tales, how dark that is. So what does he think of you? Well, Baba, for example, Baba, the witch. Ba- Baba Baba has a home. All the dark gods, all the ancient gods have a home, and all of them always up to something, you know. And you're not welcome. Well, the Satanic Temple is not welcome. So, yeah. Anyway, that's good, but that's a good thing because we want, yeah, we want, we need definitely we need our American men because it's a reality. You're not going to change. You're not going to change in this conversation and going forward. You're not going to change the conversation. They do not need to. Yeah, you it is right. Like if you want change. By the way, vision wise, change. They would say, must happen with it. They like to look for America for things to change. No, no, no. The mother and fatherlands, more older, ancient than America. Those changes need to happen there. Like be the vision future you see for yourself. Become that. So like um Europe doesn't want to be slave masters. They have their ways. But okay, we get it. Or Russia, would have to change the. Oh, Germany, that's a good one. Germany is they are what they call it. Okay, so the street where I believe uh, Hitler lived, they want to rename two streets. They bought the house and now they're gonna reshape it. And the argument was, no, no, no. If you do, there's always a trickster there. Oh, no, no, no. If you do, you'll eliminate I believe it's Hungary's role in the Holocaust. No, no, we won't. It's there. It's in the books. But we're saying no. We're gonna rename this so that people, because people were actually coming there to where he lived, like neo Nazis, as a pilgrimage, and so their Germany is stopping that. Where these little pockets of vibrationally soul in a soul level, creating these gateways for hatred. So to continue that story in some has some connection to it. So they're like, removing all of that, like getting rid of the what do you call the accreditation factor. I guess that's is that a word? I know it's a word, but is that properly used? Like commemorate the com, here we commemorate. It's like no, 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 no. We're not commemorating this, and no. This is all a part of Age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius is about, you know, opening the mind. We're opening our minds. But it's not just I want to be one of the chosen ones. I'm going to be the secret person and don't tell anybody about how my third eye is so open. No, no, no. It's not that. No. Human. When we say humanity, we say universally everybody's mind is are opening, and in such ways it's causing these like this higher self-awareness, for example. So these greater awarenesses, for example, why does our president, Trump, and his I want to say his cabinet, his group, why do they want to dramatically change the the economy to the point where it's like they're stopping this or stopping that? Because Trump believes in solving the problem. By the way, this is Gemini. People think he's Gemini, but he's he's something else. He's not Gemini, but he fits perfectly in the Gemini mindset. And this is about solving, getting to the root of problems. So finding resolutions to problems. So he says, no, we need there's about to be a better way. First of all, if he discovers a better way, all those people who are like relying on you all to get a raise, that's going to change to the way that they're paid. If we're not, they're like, well, how are the people who work for the state going to get paid? Probably get paid. They're going to formulate a way to get paid better and more efficiently and more reliable than having to rely on you. And then that's gonna be beautiful. Like an officer will be like, "Officer, you work for me. I pay your bill." Like, then you know better say, "Well, not anymore. No, you don't." I can't wait to see that. A nice and neat dressed officer, maybe a female, says, "Oh no, you don't." Like, I pay you. I pay your bill. You serve me. No, you don't. I serve the people, and you don't pay my check. That's gonna be beautiful to hear, to see that on HD. Knowing you should have just followed the directions the first time. you know, or like you somebody who works, what was it, like 15 hours, 16 hours, and yeah, they're a little muddy, and you're like looking down on them, and they're like paying for a whole house, and they got their whole family there, and they got their wife there, and you're like, hey, and they finally break off, they got their life right, they stop using drink, they stop partying as much, and they're shaping a whole lot, they're making bucks, money, And like just because they're doing, they're like, yeah, yeah, I pay for that. I don't know why people had to put their stink on it. Like, yeah, you wouldn't even have that. So that's gonna be nice. And people not in that group definitely like they deserve dignity. Like they deserve to be like like thank goodness there's music that they listen to that's like affirmation. Like yeah, I'm that woman. I'm that man. Yeah, I work very hard for my money, get my money, get my paper. I'm so happy that there's affirmations, but still, but like people who are like just go in, clock in, they go sit at their desk, they looking down, they making just as much as they and more. Like, but you're outside of it, but you're this, but like, yeah, I don't mind looking great. And then they do try to make you feel bad for being in shape. Oh boy, they will cut the corner, double hit wide, and be like making you feel like you going to go running, jogging, keeping in health. I couldn't even figure out how they were doing it, but then they like stand in the way, deliberate. Like when you're running, like in my experience, people who are like driving, they'll like try to be funny and like get too close to you, or like go ahead and then somehow pull in and stop, and you gotta. It's like you're. It's very weird. It's like, or I even had some where they like will follow right beside you, and you're like running. You're like running, and you're like this, like running, and then that vibration comes up. It's supposed to be peaceful and zen, and somebody's doing that, and you're like, if all like, okay, look, I'm giving you the invitation. If you want more, and then they head off, and then you got all this vibration, and you're like, man, they messed up my entire mind right now. I'm supposed to be channeling, zenning out, and they're messing with me. I like just go, just don't look, don't say nothing. I did not. You don't know me. I didn't invite you in. Act like the officers are so respectful. Like they might pull up, but like they kind of stay right there and see if you're going to acknowledge them. And I'd be like, I like the way they do it. But then you have other people who are like the jury. The jury be like trying to like block you. They try to like box you in and stuff, and make it weird, and like ruin, like mess up your consistency. Like why are you doing all that? Is what leaves you with, but you're like at the time you're like, I don't care why you're doing it. Don't do that. Makes well, when I think about it, it makes me upset. I'm getting legitimately upset. Like I didn't invite you to don't get to know me or nothing. You keep driving in your vehicle, you know, and just ignore like it. Like whenever I'm walking around and at standstill, you're nowhere to be found. But now that I'm doing something active and you're outside of my focus, now you want to hang out. I'm like, no, don't hang out with me. Stay. Whatever you were doing, do that. It's not. You're not doing me. So don't do me. Do whatever it was you were doing and do that and stay away. But no, whenever I'm down and like just relax, I'm gonna go have latte. There's nowhere to be. No, they don't want to be seen unless I'm reading. If I'm reading, people will come and they'll go like this, and they're like, "Hi, hi." Like I was supposed to like. So if I don't do this, if I like, because that's this is what I really want to do. This is the true me. This, I don't care. They'll I mean, like they're like right there, perpendicular, like, and they go, "Hey, hi, hi, hi." I'm like, I'm like, people want to distract you from what you're doing. They're not interested in anything else. They are time wasters. They waste. They want to waste your time, and of course, you must not allow them to waste your time. Sometimes I am stubborn, and I'll double down. I what do you call it? Plant my feet firmly into the ground. I just double down. I'm like, I keep reading. Sometimes it gets to that where, but yeah. So anyway, that's how I exercise, and that's how I read. Ooh, that sounds great. I could go and read and grab a latte. Actually, that sounds quite nice, and I can reformat some things because I definitely need to write. Because I'm right. I'm getting into the season of my writing, and I found um, I'm always finding software to help me out. I found the spell checker and everything. It's going to be amazing. Um, by the way, my oh yeah, so whenever I write, my grammar is pretty nice, but still yet when I use the grammar check, I still it makes me want to elevate the sentences. It will correct me. Yeah, my spelling sometimes. Yeah. But because I'm trying to go so fast. Um, yeah. So I'm always worried. I'm like, I hope that my book is going to be smart enough. So I'm studying these. So like studying this different ways of writing so that it's smart enough, but it's not like you know like uh, like what in the world are you talking about? Smart, not that kind of smart. Whereas blah 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 blah. Like where it's just a lot of just words. It's just words. It's not even anything grounding. Earth breaking. I'm nothing like that. Um, but I definitely want some sophistication to the writing. So I'm working on um, trying to create a space where it's fun. And because sometimes, to be honest with you, okay, so I have all this my spiritual things and books, and everything looks all colorful. And then when I go in like into Microsoft Word, everything just looks bright, like black and white. I'm like boring, as I'm like, gosh, it's like my like a repellent. Like my fingers are like repelled. So I found a user friendly software that is just got the round edges, for people like me, round edges, and it's got it's good. Its color scheme is nice. It's attractive. So when I'm writing, yeah, it's gonna feel good. I was playing with it last night. Um, last okay, so sometimes whenever I'm trying to figure these things out, I'll start something and feel good about it, and then it just kind of goes away. So I don't feel that it's going away. I feel that I mean, if it has to be strong enough to make me devoted to it, committed. So this software seems that it's going to work. Like I'm definitely committed to this, creating this studio. So I think I did fairly well creating the studio. I Oh, by the way, I have nothing against anybody, but I definitely want better. I want more for American people, American men, American women, the youth, and the information that they're getting a hold of. It is coming from up. to down. The hot upper generations, a lot of the upper generations want to see chaos. They need it. They kind of need it. It's bread and honey on the table. If they get it, if they were to get it, they would have been right. You know, I was thinking about that. I'm like, I'm seeing their conversations move away or kind of shift their position a little bit. Not that it does anything for them on the inside, but you got, I mean, what can they say? Literally, you know, Trump is saying, your fave, the one you love so much, Putin, yeah, I'm not happy with him. And by the way, his men, as I stated before, his men are getting, I just can rely on his words. Most 7,000 a week, most of them are his, or his men. And he's hurting a lot of people. A lot of people means civilian people, not warriors. He's hurting, killing non-warriors. He says, I'm not happy with that. And he said, oh, and in the same breath, oh yeah, they were skipping. I was watching. I was like, if you do not let this play out, if you micromanage what he says at any little bit, I will no longer be connected with you. You will lose me. And my name is Isaiah. You really will lose me. On my Isaiah, you will lose me. And but they did it. But it was a lot of pause, pause because what in a parallel universe, Putin is winning. Putin is, for the greater common interest. America is Putin's, America and Russia are friends. That in a parallel universe, not in this one, but not in this one though. And so yeah, this conflict. Oh gosh, it was so big. The um, where people were going, it's gotten so bad where they're like, they get much. See, these people who are in the office now, they're after my own heart. So whenever you start, this is the sad bit. This is a little sad. So when people are in powerful structures, right? And if they say, well, you're not a good fit anymore, right? So what do they mean by that? So like, if you start disproving their science, you're no longer a fit anymore. They get rid of you. And so right now, Pam Bondi comes to mind. Even Kash Patel, they kind of want. Even Donald Trump, they're even starting to say, he's no longer like fitting the program. He's no longer fitting the bigger picture. They thought that Trump was some type of filler in, like he would fill in, play the role, be sort of, you know, like open the door for other, and they're like, no, like this is my real life. Wait, like this is my real life we're talking about. This is my real career. So you want me to abandon my family just to support your philosophy idea? You think I want to do that? They are flipping the entire formula on its head. They're flipping the entire formula. And they're like, if you was dependent on me, so that's why I'm glad that this is back, because this kind of behavior of eliminating people because they're not a good fit. That uh, okay, contracts ended, and and the same day impeachment happened. Make it make sense. Talk about making it make sense. Then when he's come back, contracts start up again. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Making it make sense. So naturally, I'm seeing these patterns. I saw the pattern. There's no doubt about the pattern. I said, he's not losing this time. He's not being impeached. and and just because he doesn't fit your thoughts, because you have the ability to say, I don't want to play anymore, and then push the power off. You can't do that now because he shut down that branch. You no longer work there anymore. Or you've been reassigned. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. She's not going anywhere either. Pam Bondi. Kash Patel is not going anywhere either. Not saying anywhere like career wise. I mean, they're not like exiting their. They're not leaving their posts. Whatever they choose to do so far as advancing the administration, they'll do it. They'll do it. Whatever they are called to do. But it's beautiful. They're in such a beautiful autonomy. By the way, autonomy works in every. I said when I was telling about it, people seeking their autonomy. It's on all levels, even in for the president. President also wanted autonomy means at the level where you're at, even if you are, an executive, you is whether if it's maybe relied a lot on partnerships, some partnerships, you want very sophisticated ways of creating independence where you don't have to rely on that partnership anymore. Maybe there are other ones you want to rely on, better ones, or none at all. Definitely, if you think in terms of like an engineer, software that can run independent from other maybe entities where software is needed. So independence, and so that idea that, oh well, I have to sort of use your information to keep you happy, to keep me intertwined with you, does not, people, they don't have to do that. They don't want to do that. Just as like anybody from any level, people are catching up and saying, yeah, 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 you gotta start a business, and that's a deep dive. Like why so many people were being let go? That's because the groups that people that were being let go have the potential to start something themselves, and have actually said that to themselves that they would start something business wise, and now they have the ability. They have certainly have the time to do it now. They've got the resources to do it as well. And it's like, well, go for it, do it. Um, or you should be doing something like this. We wish you the best of luck. Go fulfill your dreams. You know, um, yeah. So they said like, well, don't become complacent. Don't stop growing. Like if you stop growing, you know, we don't want you to stop growing. So anyway, so they don't have to pander. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna, make you happy. They're not playing that game. I like that in a presidency. I like the fact that they flipped that entire script. It's funny. They flipped the entire script. None of it's true. None of it's true. And people were like, they're like, uh huh. So I'm a, oh boy. Oh boy. So they're trying to figure, they're still trying to figure out. Oh, and Trump was just amazing. He's like, you talking about a dead man, and we had people dying like he's starting to think like that's how we were thinking. He's trying to like see his empathy is in this is his empathetic self. No one can say that. Yeah, he earned that. He's got his empathy. There's no doubt. I was reading as he was entering in these past 6 months. Like he's done. Well, they said all he needed to do was to be in Mar-a-Lago for a little bit, be near body of water, no problem for him, and because it would be healing for him, and to be around family, and that would open up his empathy. And then, so from that conversation in lives that I described that when we would go on and on and on about his. Let me see. What book is it? I believe it's in this one. It's in one of these two. I think it's this one. A lot of his. Yep, it's this one. Uh, he yeah, he's even Netanyahu said, "Okay, I got to give it to you. Here's my nomination. You're the one who wants the peace. Let me give the peace to you, because I'm pretty mad right now." So, he did that, and he. It's funny, like I bet he was surprised about that, and also he said, I said he's gonna be called kind for the first time. Of course, he did say, I was called kind. I've never been called that. Like, what is kind? Kind? What is that? This is good. This is him actually being seen as empathetic. That's what it means. They said that people would, as he would show his empathy, people would also call him kind. And I've got that these words written in here. Well, it's too much for me to dig up, but I got it. I know I said it. Yep. It's a lot of information. Let's see. Um, Son. It talks about his wit, his shrewdness for business. He is the king of pentacles. They're like, he's not a king, but he is the king of pentacles. Full of luck, of monetary luck in so many ways. A prosperous union, um, indicates happy and personal patterns. Um, a lot. Charm. He has very high social charm. This is a season of his life is about the home, which is home here. He's definitely his marriage partners is his twin flame. We know that obviously he's in his twin flame. Um, Harmonious relationships. He's magnetic at the moment. I mean, at the Pluto level. Television, theater, politics, advertising, public relations, just extravagant, open extravagance, grandeur, extravagance at that. Uh, Jobs. It says predestined. It says the useful skill in possessions, professions as the entertainment industry, world of fashion, high-powered selling jobs, predestined to succeed. 2024 is the year of resources. The problem is that that success may come so easily. So it's a matter about intentions, not so much whether they can get it or not. Success. We're speaking about success. Celebrating. Um, oh gosh. Uh, yeah, there's some power hunger people. He has to kind of, but he would notice them though. It says that Trump situation does not allow this to happen because he's aware of them. Because Jupiter reveals everybody's intentions. Um, it says it's unfortunate people definitely want to kind of use his influence, but is considered lucky because he's surrounded by influential minds. Um, energy. Gosh, so much. I'm just skimming. Um, Success with his children, of course. um, money, open palm and with money, um, joy in a state. He loves the friendships, relationship, relationships. Neptune indicates critical, accepted. Okay, so this is more like, yeah, status quo situations, of course. Um, Overcoming. Okay, so it says he was meant to overcome the Great Depression from the Virgo. That's in the past, of course. The onset into the day, active in the civil rights and things, situations, the women's movement, the environmental concerns, all that, to bring about this sense of, the need to elevate, um, health wise, being very, like being up to like health and to pursue his vision, wonderful ideas, sensitivity to surroundings, very very much alert, comfortable, health wise. Talk about this health, good health. Some strange things happen. What else? Always Venus, the Venus sign vibration, always bring about harmonious times. This one's all about Kamala. Good things about her too. She didn't steal to get money. She didn't have to do dirty things to get money. The money was already there. So, which one is this one? Oh yeah, that was the dream. Yeah. So I had did all that in November, early November, I believe. We covered all of that information, and it was just like letting us know like what to look out for, like what type of person will he be or will she be? Because we looked at it when we began this journey, it was without bias. It's only looking at what they offer. So, yeah, his stood the test. Um, and what's even interesting is, uh, and I kind of forgotten all about it. It's like 5 seconds where it shows like astrological, I guess, chart for Bernie, then how it connects with like why was Biden over chosen over Bernie, and then it pans as it pans. It has Donald J. Trump, the King of Pentacles, and it has his astrological chart, but it all points to, and that has been our. It goes Biden, Trump. It was like 5 years ago. So anyway, at least that's what it says on the when I posted it to my YouTube. So it's just a lot that's going on right now that deals with healing and growth and these wonderful challenges. I know that like we're trying to figure out how these challenges even began. Like how does everything just more or less move, or how does everything just come together the way that it has, and it stands the test of time. Um, and what do you call it? Well, so far I've been able to get away with saying, these are my psychic predictions because I wanted to operate opposite of being that prophets are saying these things. But my thing is this: how can one say that they are a prophet but they're not even touching psychic. Like their psychic predictions. And a prophet, I imagine, is supposed to surpass the psychic. The prophet is supposed to surpass the psychic, but people are not even. They're not okay. So this is the psychic. People are not even edging psychic, to become like let alone prophets. So anyway, these are very powerful psychic prophecies, but some prophecies either we can't even. I wish we could say the prophecy is just not equal, but it's not even that. Like it's all wrong. Like these are just prophecies that are wrong. Um, like doomsday prophets, doomsday prophets got this so terribly wrong, so terribly wrong, and there's like prophecies are actually being demonstrated, through the psychic predictions, and no one see. That's what I was saying. If the prophecies are correct, if the prophecies are correct, what one should do, what one should do is this: should uh, come to the psychic and prove the psychic inaccurate, false. Prove the psychic wrong. Make the psychic go away by proving the psychic wrong. That's easy. That's easy. It's all that one needs to do. But the psychic is gone unchallenged, having answered the call, has gone unchallenged, and still no one is approaching the psychic's predictions. And the predictions are very blatant. They're very much over, they're open, they're in the public, and prophets are not challenging the psychic, but the prophets should. The prophets should, unless there are no prophets, not real ones at least, and maybe even though it's a psychic, maybe the psychic is right. But anyway, very interesting, very interesting. But it's like, how come? How come no? How come no one is challenging the prophes, the psychics' predictions? And even as the psychics' predictions um, are in opposition of prophets' prophecy, psychic predictions in opposition of prophecy of prophets, said prophets, but the prophets are not confronting the psychics the psychic's predictions. That's right. And the psychic predictions are true, but the psychic predictions are supposed to be faulty, but the prophecy is faulty, not the psychic predictions. So we've noticed that. We 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 take note of that today. We see that today. We understand this today. We understand that the psychic predictions is on its way. It's being fulfilled. And the ones who speaking, the ones who are in leadership, the ones in the administration who are in leadership are speaking the words that are bringing about the 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 cause of effect, the manifestation of truth, capitalized truth in every way, and it is not what the prophets say. I think that's it. I think we covered that. Okay. So I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm getting back into the swing of things. My goodness. Mm-mm-mm. It is a beautiful day. Today. I do. I believe I deserve, to be able to walk. I should go for a walk. I deserve a walk. Mm-hmm. Mm. And that's why I deserve a walk. Peace of mind. So, all right. Whew. Oh, and another thing that's going on here. Uh, that I want to talk about. One other thing, but I want to read. I probably want to read this one as an article for sure. Okay, let me see. I definitely want to read this as an article. One second. Let me create. Uh, Trump gives I want to read this first reaction here. Uh, okay, I'm not studying you. Okay. Come on. Oh, there we go. And then go like that. Okay. Then go like that. Okay, here we go. Bam. And then all I gotta do is do this. All right. So it says the IRS says, guess what? The only openly acknowledgeable uh, debate is always between church and state is that the churches have no say in the political stance. Like, no, keep your. I don't want to hear your beliefs, but the other people talk about straight up their beliefs. and like where they believe spiritually, where they believe in other religions, it cannot be applied. All except churches until until it says IRS says churches can endorse political candidates in reversal of decades long precedent, meaning now these political candidates are going to have to make some spiritual considerations, spiritual accommodations, because there's some because these non-spiritual entities get up there and, for example, what's her name? Greta Thunberg. There was she was over there bringing aid by a little yacht, and they in the way that they mocked her and things like that. Not saying that she couldn't use the suggestion of President Trump. Hey, go find peace of mind. Go seek out therapy. I'm not saying that you've gone through a lot. A tumultuous time. You're so angry right now. Go deal with the emotions. Get control of it. You're young, right? Be young and beautiful. You've done your work. We've got the yacht, and and we've got the aid. Now there's aid coming in, to bring highlight. She succeeded. She did it. Now they're bringing aid to Palestinian people, for example. But she's like, but the women were like, look, we've got big people we elected, and here they are being like young male teens, boys, acting like boys, and was mocking the fact all she was doing was dropping off aid. It wasn't anything beyond that. Oh, you was doing this for this. You was doing this for that. And they didn't care one way or the other if it reached them or not. Now we can make considerations, if this person is divinely chosen, not just chosen because this person is, you know, is a younger Diddy. Because Diddy, when he was young, that's a difference between a younger Diddy and an older Diddy. The younger Diddy, people were like, they was like they show up for him for free. So that's a thing. Yeah, people for free will show up and make sure that your music don't leave out of Diddy's vault. It'll never hit the shelves. People will do that for free. There are people who showed up for that experience for free. They thought, hey, I was asking for money in the beginning. I stopped asking for money just to go there, just for the experience, just to have a story to tell. And the only reason why they're there because they were summoned there because the trail led to them. They would not have said a thing. And these are males. These are like females. These are like males. So like, and these are people that you might consider, you call them your constituents. These are your constituents. So anyway, so that happens into the political worlds in some way. So it says this is from Nashville. In a reversal of decades of legal precedent, the Internal Revenue Service said, is in quotes, said in court filings on July 7th that churches and other religious 501c3 organizations, and so not just churches, but other religious 501c3 organizations can endorse political candidates in certain circumstances. The new position made in a joint filing intended to end a lawsuit brought by a group of high profile Christian organizations last year, carves out a narrow exception to the Johnson Amendment, which has banned political activity by churches since 1954. Um, so this is challenging like church and state. So the rule was introduced by former President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1954 when he was serving as the U.S. Senate Majority Leader. It banned all tax exempt organizations like churches and charities from directly or indirectly participating in politics, specifically in endorsement or opposition of candidates. In the filing, the agency stated that political endorsements made by a church would not be seen as participating or intervening in political campaigns, but instead as a family discussion concerning politics, in quotations. Family discussion concerning politics. When a house of worship in good faith speaks to its congregation through its customary channels of communication on matters of faith in connection with religious service concerning electoral politics, viewed through the lens of religious faith, it neither participates nor intervenes in a political campaign within the ordinary meaning of those words, the IRS stated in the filing. Okay. It says the agency went on to explain that the new position was in keeping with the IRS's usual enforcement of the Johnson Amendment, which the agency admits it generally has not enforced. Okay, has not been okay. It has not generally okay. It has not been enforced. Okay, citing a 2017 executive orders signed by President Donald Trump that limited the Department of Treasury's actions against houses of worship for political activity. So that's 2017. President Trump did that to limiting the actions against houses of worship for political activity. It's common for religious figures and groups, including denominations, to publicly align with or even support candidates on both sides of the political spectrum. Political candidates regularly visit houses of worship. There it goes. There's the one right there. Political candidates regularly visit houses of worship to engage potential voters. But often churches and pastors have been careful about how they show that support or the formats in which they show it, such as during sermons and weekly worship services. Well, the July 7th filing was was the product of a lawsuit filed in Texas in September 2024 on behalf of the National Religious Broadcasters, an international association of evangelical Christian communicators, as well as Intercessors for America, a conservative Christian prayer advocacy group. Two Texas churches also joined as plaintiffs: First Baptist Church West Westcom in Westcom, Texas, and Sand Springs Church in Athens, Texas. In a statement made when the lawsuit was filed, the NRB stated the groups felt that their speech has been wrongfully silenced under the Johnson Amendment. We believe, in quotations, so this is what they said: we believe that all nonprofits should have the constitutional right to freely express their point of view on candidates, elections, and issues on the ballot. NRB President and CEO Troy Miller said, our challenge to the Johnson Amendment is about securing the future of free expression for all Americans, particularly those standing in the pulpit. In the IRS filing, the agency seems to agree with Miller regarding the First Amendment implications of the Johnson Amendment. In the quotation, so this is how they interpret it. Interpreting the Johnson Amendment to reach political communications made within a house of worship would create serious tension with the Fifth Amendment's Establishment Clause that broad interpretation would treat religions that do not speak directly to matters of electoral politics more favorably than religions that do so, favoring some religions over others based on their speech to their own congregations in connections with religious service through customary channels of worship and religious communication, the filing states. That's correct. That's what I mentioned earlier. Other than Christian can have their political points and be safe. Um, Except for like if you're like a Baptist pastor, in a and you have a huge church. Okay, it says according to a 2024 survey conducted Lifeway Research, a a Southern Baptist Convention research organization, only 3 in 10 U.S. adults, 29%, believe pastors publicly endorsing candidates for public office during a church service is appropriate. So only 29%. 3 in 5, 60% disagree, including 42% who strongly disagree, and 11% aren't sure. So yeah, those are fickle people, and probably none of those people even are definitely not even thinking in terms of like the values of, I would say, from a Christian standpoint. When asked directly to the survey if churches that endorse political candidates should lose their tax exempt status, here we go. Around 48% of respondents agreed. 48% agreed. 31% disagreed. So 48 to 31. And the other 20% are not sure. Uh, that 21% that's not sure definitely would say we'll go with the 48%. Okay, so that's very clear. So but the percentage of Americans who see pastors endorsing a candidate in church as appropriate has risen steadily over the past 16 years, according to the organization. Um, right, because that kind of goes with belief. Like vote with your heart, vote with your conscience, vote with your belief. Well, if that's true, even if your belief starts from the kitchen table, privately in your home, curtains drawn, you're there with your family. It's no different than as a person who's at a pulpit amongst fellowship in a church. There's really not a difference. The same conversation is being had at home, and the same conversation being had at the pulpit. Um, doesn't seem like it would change one way or the other if you had your heart. If one has their heart set on one thing, of course, in their echo chamber, then, but there's echo chamber everywhere. And of course, you said miscommunicated echo chambers also are present. Whoa, did you notice that AI? So even if you, okay, let's say you have a small channel, right? And you're like, and you are debating. Did you know the algorithm actually have you debate? Let's say there are people who are debating, right? I'm seeing this a lot. A lot of people are debating, and they have a huge following, and but they're getting their entire debate or ideology actually just deleted because the information is not. It's like they lost the debate, so to speak. If you did you know that if you start debating an argument, and even though you could have millions of followers, you have a million followers, if what you're arguing is not in alignment, and not, like if you lose an argument, AI is still judging you, even though a human may not be. Even though you're avoiding, you like, like, hey, I got the ears. Did you know that AI actually will give you, will have you metal out, like it's AI gives you the bronze, gives you the silver, gives you the gold. It will factor you out. I'm seeing it all over. I'm seeing it. Like there's lots of people said I had X amount of followers, 2,000. They didn't give me a reason. They said, "Oh, look, for what? For talking about political? I guess I can't talk about political. I have to I can only talk about like nuts and fruits, so to speak. I can talk about anything else but that. Yes, because yeah, they're losing an argument. Like they're not winning that argument, and so it's like it shows. It shows. Like if it's like a lot of just inaccuracy, oppose in the argument, AI like gets you deleted. I noticed that. I noticed that. So definitely, whatever you like are presenting out there, if you create an echo chamber, which is in your right to do, like just because you can attract, just because you have the it factor, doesn't really hold much as you try to like break away, as you try to break through into higher levels. You AI will they will deal with you. They'll deal with it. So definitely that's something to think about. Like be right, like argue, but like be where you cannot be disputed. Be like as 100% like, hey, you may not like the messenger, but the message is correct. so so that a way when people can no longer judge you and no one's debating you, you're not debating them, but AI looks at it and says, okay, well, this is true though, regardless. Then yeah, keep it on. It won't boot you off. And like, oh, by the way, when they get booted, they even tried these people like tried to like appeal. It's like, no, the appeal still stands. It's like, why? Yeah, they're saying, well, they're asking like, why? Like I built that up. It's like, yeah, it's not happening. Okay, so so back to this. Yeah, very interesting. It says, okay, but the percentage of Americans who see pastors endorsing a candidate in church as appropriate has risen steadily over the past 16 years, according to the organization. In the first survey of the topic in 2008, only 13% saw political endorsements during a church service as acceptable. Only 13%. And that was in 2008 because that goes with the separation of church and state. The number rose steadily in the second survey conducted in 2015 before rising to its current 29% in 2024. So, yep. So they're making it where um, so they're making it where I know what do you call that? Yeah, the definitely those satanic group. They're not very happy with this. I'm sure. He showed up. Okay, so anyway, uh, yeah, that came to mind, so I just want to share that because I thought that was fascinating. I think that's very fascinating. Well, good for them. Actually, good for good for Trump. Hmm. So that means that definitely I feel a little bit more, even more comfortable getting into these types of conversations as, yes, as you know, I'm a whole lot of something, something, something too. I'm some things too, you know. So, yeah. So I definitely am going to be sharing. I feel more drawn to share even more prophets, psychic prophecy for you all. Okay. So I guess that's it. That's all that I needed to share for now, for today. And um, and I will come back. I'm getting refreshed and coming back. Getting back into the motion. And I love to come in the morning. So very like wee early hours in the morning, and then just sort of coast into the afternoon. So I will be back and see what else is going on. And they're just this is just a me coming back and kind of finding my way around. Reconnecting again with everything, with everybody. So I'm back, and let's see what happens. See what these next journeys are going to be. Again, um, I'm just in love with everybody, with life. It's just this one thing though. I just want to say it's not the psychic's fault. Don't blame the psychics, okay? Just whatever you do, keep the psychics in good thoughts. All we do is like you need something, you ask for something, we're gonna say yes. Just think of us like that. That's how we really are. And okay, I'm gonna end because I don't want to go on and on and on.